Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, your pop culture podcast that says, hey, look at that thing. I think that's our tagline. It's not the best one, but it exists.
It's, you know what, at this point, it don't matter. We're going to have a different one every single time.
Yeah.
The concept is still the same, but our tagline's always going to change.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Like, because, if we said the same thing every day, we get boring. We gotta mix it up and, give our audience a little something extra,
Branding schmanding.
Yeah. Our brand is we don't have a brand.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. We're the new brand.
We've been working our way through Sex in the City from the beginning because Chris has never seen it, and I've seen it like way too many times. And we are at season 3, episode 8, The Big Time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot going on here.
First of all, title nail on the head.
Yep.
As far as like what happens in the episode. Those of you who are joining us who haven't watched the episode, go watch the episode. Like, what are you doing here? This is not the place for you to be right now.
Why listen to a podcast out of context?
Right. Listen, all we're saying is if you haven't watched it, just go watch it real quick, then turn this back on. You can pause it. That's, YouTube has that ability. You can just pause it or hell, you can even close it out. Just, go watch it and then come back later. Whatever it is you do, however you tube. Or a podcast, however whatever you want to do. But this was I gotta tell you, Elizabeth, the ending of this episode pissed me off. I was very upset about it. Also, there is somebody who I used to like that I definitely don't anymore. Mm-hmm. And now here's what I also
that you used to know.
That's exactly what I thought I knew this character. I thought I had him figured out. It's one of those things though, where here's my is it's like, I guess to give effect for the episode, they like turned it up a couple notches because he was annoying. Don't get me wrong. I am not gonna sit there and say he wasn't annoying.
We're talking about Steve, by the way,
people. I'm not gonna say he wasn't annoying or he wasn't immature and he didn't have like fits and shit like that. However, it's like they turned it to 11 on this episode because he was unfucking bearable.
Let's just start there. Yeah, like I guess let's just start there.
Yeah, we have to.
This was my confirmation that me remembering, oh yeah, this is why I don't fucking like Steve.
Yeah.
And why I've always had a problem with Steve is this episode clinches it.
You know what's funny is,
and you said you called this about him being manipulative a couple episodes ago. Yeah. And this is full effect to fruition.
Here. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Shouts out to the writers of the show, because as Miranda was starting to kind of realize who this guy is, we also were, because like I definitely didn't at the beginning when he first came back. I did not feel this way. I was like very happy he was back. I was like, oh, this is gonna work. Like, shouts out to Miranda. She's gonna get everything. She's gonna have a nice job and a good guy. And it was literally like little by little, I started to be like, I don't. And then this episode, like I was 100% behind her because, he was like a different kind of gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how people gaslight you to make you feel like you're crazy, you're the bad. So like he wasn't like a blunt about it or blatant about it. He did it almost innocently, and that makes me more upset.
Like he didn't even think he was doing anything wrong. He thought he was doing right by the relationship to make it work, to make it last. Because what kicks off the whole problem is they go out to dinner.
Yes.
And there's babies at the restaurant kind of crying and screaming and stuff like that.
By the way, pause there.
Yeah.
100% agree with Miranda. Don't bring your baby to a restaurant. You get a fucking babysitter. Restaurants, theaters, airplanes, get out of here with the baby. I'm not saying nothing wrong with babies. Babies are cute. If you decide to have them, nothing wrong with you. That's the human experience. Some people want to have babies, some people don't. I happen to fall in the category that don't. but that doesn't mean that I hate babies. However, I do think that you are being a little bit selfish when you bring a baby into those situations, especially like a movie theater and shit like that. Like, sorry, you decided to have a baby. That means you don't get to see Spider-Man the night it premieres. That means you go and during the matinee when there's like 5 people in the theater in case your baby cries, or you stay home and wait for it to come out on like on demand or some shit like that, because your baby, especially an infant or even a toddler, like a young toddler, like anything under like 5 years old that you can't tell to be quiet and actually understands the concept of quiet in a movie
or a place.
You know what I'm saying? Like until then, you don't bring, like, you shouldn't have, like, and I know it's different when it comes to like travel, like an airplane. I know situation dictates and stuff like that. Like you can't just go out of town, but like also rent a car and drive, bitch. Like we're like that shouldn't be our problem either. You know what I'm saying? Like I know shit comes up, but you gotta.
All that's, I don't totally hold it against like babies on airplanes because they just have so little control over the situation, and usually
it's not the baby's fault. They don't know what's going on. They don't know why their ears are a little bit clogged and popping and things of that nature. Like no, not even about the baby. It's about the parents who like to bring them on to the plane. Like honestly, why would you even fly with a baby? Like that's just too much.
It's like anxiety. Choice.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like if it's like a death, obviously if it's like a death in the family or something like that, like an emergency kind of thing. But if it's like a planned vacation, no. No.
I know. I've heard some
business
people say like
and or like a death in the family or illness in the family. I'll shut my mouth. But if it's vacation, hell to the no. You get your ass. If it's an island, you don't get to go to the island. And not till that baby's 5 years old. If it's somewhere within the States, you get a motherfucking car and you drive your ass there. You had a plan for all the days.
I've heard some people argue, and I think this wouldn't be a bad idea, is doing child-free flights.
Absolutely.
Like, people would pay
for it. They do it on trains. So why can't we do it on a plane? That's all I'm saying.
There's child-free trains?
Oh yeah, train cars, certain cars and trains, like quiet cars and shit like that. Yeah. No baby, none of that shit. Nope. No.
Also, if you can't bring your baby, you can't bring your comfort peacock or donkey or whatever the fuck you're trying to claim.
Fucking ferret, boa constrictor, motherfucking
my comfort spiders.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's my comfort tarantula.
My comfort tarantulas.
Yeah.
Plural.
I 100% agree with that as well. Like, especially if you got a dog that fucking yaps all the time, get him out of there. Get him out of there. If you know you got a dog that doesn't travel well, then that means you don't get to travel on the plane. That means you get to go by train or bus or car. Sorry.
But anywho, they're at the restaurant. Yeah.
Yes, they're at the restaurant. Go ahead.
At the restaurant, and Steve is like, let's have a baby. And she's like, are you fucking high?
Or he's like, at first I didn't, because they never really say, I mean, they kind of give you like a little brief glimpses of like timeline passing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When Miranda said they had only been living together 2 months.
Yeah.
I lost it. I was like, okay, I don't like that. That right there immediately, like all the positive feelings I had about Steve left my body. I was like, this guy is a fucking nut job, dude.
Yeah.
He's a child. He doesn't understand. He clearly doesn't understand the responsibility and the weight of. He literally.
You know why? Because he says having a baby would be fun.
Right.
Dudes say that all the fucking time.
I don't.
A lot of dudes say having a baby or having a kid would be fun. And when it comes to the fucking nitty gritty of actually taking care of a baby or a kid, they abdicate so fucking fast and just put all the work on mom and only want to do the fun stuff. I do not
disagree with that, because one, if we go into the scientific portion of it, men are designed, ingrained in our hardware in like the caveman mind to leave a child after a certain age. Like once it's in our animal brain can fend for itself, we ain't supposed to be there. So that already doesn't make us great child caretakers innately already. But like, yes, of course, I totally agree with that. Most dudes, they only think about how fun it is because they're probably thinking they're gonna stick some woman with like the hard shit, and then they're gonna come in and change a diaper or two, and then when they get a little older,
some of them are like, I don't even want to touch diapers.
Right,
you can't make me.
I think a lot of dudes think of the child when it's older, like 3 and above, when they can like play games with it or talk to them and stuff like that. They do not think about that first year and a half,
2.5 years.
It's just completely miserable, no sleep, no nothing. Like none of them think about that. I know they don't, because I guarantee you, if most men that do have kids, unless it was like by mistake, like most men that like want to have kids would be a little less like hardcore about like, oh yeah, I'm having like 3 to 4 kids. Like no, you're not.
You're making your wife have 3 to 4 kids, while you just hang back. Oh, the amount of shit I read, like from in advice columns, or the "Am I the asshole" on Reddit. It's like always some poor woman who's like, he keeps wanting more children, but I'm at the end of my rope and I'm exhausted, and actually another baby might kill me, but he keeps insisting. Am I the asshole for saying no? It's like, no, run, get the fuck out, take the kids and run.
Dude, and that's
or not even that dramatic, but just like they never lift a finger. They say that they only want to do This is why I fucking hate Steve, because he also has the brilliant plan. He's gonna hang out with the baby all day and then go work at the bar at night. And Miranda's like, yeah, well, I work during the day, and then you expect me to stay up all night with the baby too? Where's the fucking
especially at least like the first, like you said, the first couple of years of that child's life, like up until about 3 or 4, like it's very difficult. Like it's
so
very,
much harder. Like, and my brother has kids and stuff, and he's in there and active. He's been a great dad and everything like that. But like the first, and they had twins, so like the first couple months, he was just like, they were both exhausted. And luckily my mom and her mom were able to like kind of come in and like just take that like edge off. But this is the other thing I keep seeing is like, people are trying to joke about it on TikTok, but it's terrible, where it's like moms who are like, I just need a shower. Can you watch the baby for the fucking 30 minutes I'll be in the bathroom?
Right.
And the dads are like, it's impossible. And they like treat it like it's cute and funny. No, you fucking lunatic, like, you piece of shit. That's your kid. Your wife should have to be begging. For those who aren't watching,
you're not seeing the passion in Elizabeth's face.
You shouldn't have to be begging your fucking husband to go take a shower to have a fucking break.
I agree.
I
agree.
Oh my god!
And that's why, like, I was, and that's what I'm saying. That moment right there in that restaurant was like, oh, Steve crazy great. Like, I don't like this dude. Like, I'm done with him.
Out of his fucking mind.
It's wild. And like, and then when I was saying that this is where, where it comes in, where I say he's manipulated her. So then he like has a little fit, and while she's trying to work, he's like watching cartoons loudly, like
loud as fuck,
passive aggressive fucking bitch ass way.
And then she comes out and says, we need to talk about this. He's like only watching the cartoons and being a fucking child. And she's like, are you kidding me? And that's when she realizes she has literally a kid on her hands. And a lot of women come to that realization in a lot of cases.
She should have known that when she found shit streaks in the nigga's pants. All right, sorry, he a grown ass man. He shouldn't have no motherfucking streaks. Okay, you don't have streaks as a grown ass man. If it is, it should be blood streaks from you wiping too much. Okay, it should be shit streaks. All right, that's the only streaks allowed.
A lot of, like I said, a lot of things I read is like, a lot of women unfortunately come to the realization far too late that if they have a baby with a guy, sometimes they have 2 babies in the house because the guys are throwing fits and tantrums or pouting and sulking and any number of things just as much as the kid is. And for him to sit there and ignore her, she is working her ass off to afford the apartment that he fucking lives in.
14 hours a day. That's a long fucking
You don't even know, does Steve pay fucking rent in the apartment? Because we know he's broke as fuck.
He ain't paying half.
He's definitely.
I can tell you that. Oh wait, did she buy that apartment though?
She did, that apartment. But I mean, a mortgage still.
No, he ain't no. If at best, he's probably contributing to like utilities and groceries at best. And then I'm not trying to talk shit. Like, a bartender is a good trade. You do make some decent money, but not buy an apartment, mortgage, house money.
You're riding some coattails at that point,
bro.
friend.
Taking at least, I would say, Miranda's definitely paying for at least 80% of their lifestyle.
Yeah, fuck that.
Absolutely.
Fuck that piece of shit.
I would maybe give it, maybe to be nicer, I would maybe say 75%.
Don't be nicer. Don't be nicer.
I'm still saying 80 because the truth, it is probably 80. More like 90 considering his actions, you know what I'm saying? And that goes again too, because that's a whole manipulation thing. Like every time he's pushed for something in a relationship, he's had, you know, he sends Miranda off thinking that she's like being a bitch and like, you know, being too like stuck up or too like scared to like advance a relationship when it's really him. Like you're trying to advance things too quickly. You're expecting these crazy things. And then like every time he doesn't get what he wants, what does he do? He goes up and has a fit and like gaslights her to make her think that she's being a bitch.
Because the Scooby-Doo moment just fucking pisses me off when she's like, hey, can you turn it down? He's like, you have to get used to noise when there's a baby in the house. What are you fucking poking holes in condoms, you psycho? Get the fuck out of here.
Listen, I'm just saying, like, also this episode, low-key, I think triggered me too, because
so mad.
I had an ex-girlfriend that was low-key like this. Not like it,
but like trying to baby trap you in the long run.
Baby trap me, and also like when they wanted to advance things in a relationship and I wasn't ready, like it was like they took it personally and it was like they had a fit, and then like I would have to like, or I would basically end up doing what Miranda did, just kind of like bend into it, because in my head I'm like, maybe I am being an asshole, maybe I'm being a little punk, like this is what relationships are, you move forward after a certain time, this is what you do. But like, no, you don't do that. Relationships are supposed to move naturally. I'm not, and of course there's, in everybody's natural pace is different, and that's where the patience comes in when it comes to the love of a relationship.
Like he's got her talking with Carrie after, you know, she and Carrie have like lunch or whatever, and she says rightfully that he's trying to use a baby as a band-aid for the problems in the relationship, and she's like, I feel like mean mommy, which she's cornering her into, and no one wants to be that. You don't want to be like mean scolding mommy, and she wonders, and it's making her wonder if she's sabotaging everything. And it's hard because she admits she does want a baby at some point, but not, you know, not right now. And it's hard for women because, you know, the older you get, the harder it becomes, especially because there weren't quite the same advancements, you know, fertility wise that there are now. And even now it's hard. So it just puts her in this horrible position. And then later she's at work and gets a call from him, and he's like, hey, you got to come meet me, you know, and they do, and they're at a pet store. And he's like, let's get a puppy because we're not ready for a baby yet, but we're ready for a puppy. And she's like, okay, but you know, she doesn't even want the damn puppy in the first place.
But even still, also, it was a cutest shit puppy. That puppy was so cute. It looked like a little
picture perfect puppy.
That nose was, I wanted to eat it right.
You wanted to go boop, boop, boop.
Put it right like a little Tic Tac. It was a little chocolate drop. That little nose was cute. By the way, though, I understand the logic of where he was trying to go,
but also deeply flawed.
Because puppies are probably like only like 20%, 35% less more responsibility than a baby. Sorry, like, and I know people hate when, you know, people compare dogs to baby care and stuff like that because it's different, but like they literally had a puppy, and puppies need that kind of attention as well in the early stages. It just like babies need a crazy amount of attention in the early stages. So like even him getting the puppy was just ridiculous. Like, what do you can't just like come in with no bullshit like that. Like I understand his compromise, but like, no, she clearly wasn't into it. And also too, he didn't really give her much choice, because I feel like if she just said no, he probably would have like had a fit in that store and embarrassed the shit out of her. He always puts her in like these little weird corners that she can't like do anything about.
So yes, the puppy situation.
We'll like take a pause, then you can like react to what I was saying. Like
I lost entire track of what you were saying, dude. Oh, the baby puppy comparison, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I feel like babies might be like, puppies might be like 35%, maybe 45%, a little less responsibility than babies, but like, even still, that's a lot of responsibility, especially like a puppy, not just like a dog. Period. Like, this is a puppy. They need the same amount of attention, I feel like, that babies do at like their first, few years or first beginnings,
Absolutely, because it's like, yeah, it's in an apartment. That's one of those dogs that's gonna be fucking big too. They didn't pay any attention to what breed they were fucking getting. So
no, he didn't.
He didn't.
He probably didn't even know. He probably
knew.
knew. He knew.
Yeah.
He know what he's gonna do. That dog was gonna get big as shit.
Yeah, but like you're totally right though. Yeah, like no, in the long run, dogs are not as hard as babies by any stretch, blah blah blah. But it's still a lot of work, and sure enough, the puppy's crying at 3 a.m, and Miranda's the only one waking up to deal with it, do something about it, and she wakes him up and is like, "Are you fucking happy?" He's like, "No," and it's like, well, fuck you, dude. You're literally a child where you're like, "Can we get a puppy? I'll take care of it, I promise." And the first night,
well, also too, like, dude, clearly he was just full of shit because, like, she was like, that's literally what she said to him. She's like, "Yeah, I'll be up all night with the baby while you're out working and stuff like that. And you won't even help me out. Like, it'll be basically my responsibility." And then he's like, "Oh, let's do a trial run," and immediately fails the first test.
Immediately, the first test. Yeah,
literally the night they got the puppy's whining. He's knocked the fuck out, not even trying to help her.
Yeah, he's an idiot because this is like, this is his first, this is the test he himself set to try to prove that they could totally have a baby together and do
he failed it miserably. He literally got a 0 on the test. Like, they didn't even write his name on it. Like, we just like, you just completely bombed it. You
not even 2 points for putting your fucking name on it, Steve.
You bombed, bro. You fucking bombed big time.
And so he's still trying to brush off, and she's like, "We're supposed to be equals and we're not." And he's like, "Well, you're giving up, you don't want this to work," and trying to put it all on her. And she's like, "It's us. This is not working."
Yeah.
And so she kicks him out of bed, and he, walks off with the puppy. And the next day, they're like, she loses a partner, but makes partner in the firm. And I wrote, "Good, kick his ass to the curb and live your life."
It's one of those moments where, like,
I was like,
when something like that happens, it almost makes you realize how unhappy you were, and you had to get that unhappiness out of your life to make room for something better. Because, like, literally the next day after she broke up with this leech, she gets partner.
He's a fucking leech,
right? Now it could have been coincidence, but who knows? But like, I feel like that's sometimes, like, that's how the universe works. It's like, all right, get this energy out your life so I can add in this energy.
Because, like, they said they were incompatible to begin with.
Oh, 100%.
And that's
why they broke up the first time.
And that's why they broke up the first time. And they acknowledge that when they get back together, but they're like, well, maybe we can make it work. And it's not just like lifestyle. It's like a basic fundamental understanding of, like, how shit works. and him thinking, he can coast through this. And the way too many guys do, where women are like busting their fucking asses.
Totally agree.
And they have these fucking losers who don't do anything, but women have been trained to, like, just sort of accept it, think they have to do these things to keep it, man, because if you don't have a guy, that's terrible, it's the worst. And boy, is it not. This is a great example. Like, I think I may have brought this up before, so I'll be fast. I had the college boyfriend.
Yeah.
And one time, and we lived a ways away from each other when we weren't in school. So, like, one weekend or break or whatever, we're on the phone, and he goes, "I'm hungry." I was like, "Yeah, look, I'll make yourself a sandwich. You silly, don't be silly, sitting there." I didn't even think we were, like, flirting and having a good time. He's like, "Yeah," he's like, "It's just, my mom's out of town." I was like, "Yeah?" He's like, "I'm not saying it's how it's supposed to be. It's just she's usually, it's like, has food." I think he was starting to say it. I was like, what's your next words gonna be, pal? And he's like, "It's just, it's nice when she's home to, like, make dinner for me and stuff." And I was like, okay. fucking never been happier to get dumped in my life. In retrospect, at the time. And the day it happened, I was kind of sad, and then I got over it real fast because I was like, that fucking sandwich thing. He was really gonna like. And then I also he's like scolded me about not calling him enough one time, and I was like, what the fuck? The where's my mom to make dinner for me?
Yeah, I feel you. It's crazy though, because like, you know, I told you I had an ex that was kind of like this dude, and you had one clearly too.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like you don't like, at least for me, like the whole time, not the whole time, like when I started to feel the thing, like the bad things, like this ain't really, I'm not like really happy. I like always pushed it down, like, no, I'm just being, you know, this is like my baggage coming up or whatever. Like I'm pushing it down and trying to push that down. But also it's like, maybe it could be, but also could have been your instincts telling you like this shit, just like it was Miranda's, like this shit ain't, it's like you're unhappy here, and it's not because of some baggage you have from some shit that happened in your past. Like you're not happy because you and this person don't need to be together. And like I'm same thing like you, like that ex of mine broke up with me, and I was like sad at first, and then I was relieved. And like you should never feel relieved after a relationship. Like if you're immediate, like if your first minute is like, oh shit, it sucks, but you only felt like it sucked because people told you that breakups are supposed to suck. Like that's the only reason why I felt that way. You know what I mean? Ultimately, but like I felt relieved. Yeah,
because like this is funny too. So like I was home, and so my mom was like rating me on the phone on when I got scolded by him for not calling enough, because like I hadn't called that day. I think I was working or whatever, and I was home chilling. And what do you call it? And so then he called, and he was like, he didn't really call it. I was like, oh yeah, I was busy. So I was like, I didn't want to, you know, bug you or whatever. He's like, well, I fainted at work today, and you didn't know, and you didn't call. And I was like, how was I supposed to fucking know you fainted? You just literally told me.
Also, you don't need to speak on the phone every day, guys. Like, I'm sorry, those are out there like, listen, unless you live together, there's no reason for us to speak every day. I'm not saying we should go like 3 or 4 days, but like if it's every other day that we actually speak on the phone, other than like a good night or how's your day going. Like,
I mean, little check-in text. This is a little before texting was a real big full-time thing. But still, not on me to psychically know you fainted at work. I'm not your emergency contact because I am your college girlfriend. Right. So I don't really know why you're mad that I didn't know that you fainted at work. Also, you just told me just now 5 fucking seconds ago.
Also, though, again, to go back to your arm breaking story, what the fuck were you supposed to do about this guy fainting? You're not a medic. Were you in med school? Were you going to? No. Oh, Johns Hopkins? None of that? No. Okay. Yeah.
I was
what were you supposed to do other than some regular ass CPR? Like this fucking. Other than CPR, what the fuck were you supposed to do? So, throw some water on him?
He was very wanting, I think.
Fucking get some smelling salts. Like what?
More of a mommy than I was ever gonna be.
Yeah. So shouts out to Miranda for getting rid of this bum.
This bum.
Because at least, you know what? And here's the thing that pissed me off. If you're gonna be a bum, at least make yourself useful in other ways. Like make her like, okay, like this is very much gender reversal here, because 9 times out of 10 when you see a relationship like this on television, Steve is usually played by a woman, and it's roles reversed. It's like the woman doing all this to a man. And I'm so glad that they reversed it. It's great. It's kind of refreshing to see that, you know, on the other side, because that does exist. Sometimes there are more women out there who are a little bit more masculine than the men that they date. And not to say masculine like manly, like they act like dudes, but I mean like the mindset, you know what I'm saying? And the rationale, because she's definitely more like she, you know, she's not operating off her feelings like fucking Steve does. Like he literally flies out the handle at anything, like the wrong gust of wind. But it's just crazy, like that reversal was like I said, you usually see this as a woman, or the Steve as a woman, but it's glad that they reversed it, because it was fun in that dynamic to see that they're actually like, so you can see that it's real life, like that there are women out there who are career driven like men, and they don't need, they're trying to make things, they're trying to reach goals before they start letting all the other you know, side shit in.
And in fact, it's often harder for women to reach those goals because they get caught in relationships, or if they do have kids, hopefully by choice, it unfortunately sets them back career-wise, like
big time.
years compared to their male counterparts who may also have children, but because the expectations on parenting are so different for men and women in the workplace, men can still advance while having children, because
we don't have to be gone for literally the only time we're gone is like the first 6 weeks of the after the birth. After that, we don't have to be there.
Yeah, which is screwed up though, because there should be more parental leave in general for both parents, and and in fact, there millions of women left the workforce during the pandemic in 2020 because of childcare issues, and because the burden almost always falls on women, and so many women, because of the pandemic, are going to be knocked further back than they would have been.
100%.
Which is
100%
bullshit.
Yeah, and you know what though too, that's another thing that also pissed me off about Steve, because role reversal, he's basically the stay-home mom. Let's say he had a job, but it wasn't contributing.
He's not a very good stay-at-home mom. He's a fucking slob.
That's exactly where I was going to. It's like, dude, at least if you're gonna be a bum-ass dude, if you got her paying literally the majority of what's going on, at least make sure the house is clean when she comes home. Make sure she basically make sure that house is sanctuary. When she gets there, she gets to even if she has to bring work home, she can still feel at ease while she's doing it, because you set it up for her to make sure she's working 14 hours a day. You ain't working 14 hours a night. You know what I'm saying? That. Even if you go in at 8 p.m. or whatever, you ain't working the same. You ain't doing it like that. I'm not saying bartending ain't hard work. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if the roles, you're basically a stay-home dad. So your job as a stay-home anything, stay-home wife, stay-home dad, stay-home husband, whatever, stay-home partner, you make sure that when your partner gets home that they are at peace. That is your job, to be at peace. That means you take care of all the logistics, fucking groceries, fucking cleaning, fucking dry cleaning, you gotta do that. I'm sorry. I know it seems like a lot of work, but that's what you're supposed to do for your partner.
Well, and a lot of people in our age group are like, how the hell am I supposed to work a full-time job, take care of errands, keep the house clean, work out, cook and do all these things? And it's because most of the work structure in America, at the very least, in a lot of places in the world, that work structure, that 40-hour work week and all that stuff is predicated on the idea that there is a person at home handling 90% of that, aka your wife, if you're traditionally in the 50s, but where people are like, how is my how did our grandparents do all this stuff? And it's because your grandma was staying at home, cleaning the house, doing laundry, cooking, running, getting groceries, doing anything at the bank, any kind of errands, paying the bills, and basically a house manager. And we, single people or even couple people, if you're both working in the couple, you don't have the stay-at-home partner who's the house manager, and that's why everything feels so overwhelming, why you feel like you can't ever get things done. So I don't know all the way, there's many options on ways to change that with work culture and life culture and whatnot, but that's far beyond this situation.
It's very much possible, because he doesn't work during the day, you know what I'm saying, even if he gets off at at
2 or 3.
Bars in New York close at 4 a.m.
Oh, that's true.
He's probably not getting home till 6, but at least you know what I'm saying, you get your little 8 hours in, you waking up in the afternoon, that's what you get to work until you have to go to work, you know what I'm saying? And especially, and I know as a bartender, you don't work every day, so you're probably at least having 1 or 2 nights off a week. That's when you need to be getting shit done. That's the day.
And if you can't tidy up an apartment in a couple hours,
come on, bro. Sitting up there eating cereal all goddamn day, watching cartoons and shit.
Fuck out of here. I thought he was stoned in that moment too for a hot minute, but I realized I don't think he was supposed to be.
No.
He was just acting like a fucking child, which he was. I fucking hate Steve.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
This is why, I think some people like Steve for other reasons.
I liked him at first, but that was before I realized who he was.
But he's always rubbed me the wrong way, and this was the nail in the coffin on Steve for me.
with especially, you know what, and it makes me go back to with the way that they broke up the first time.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve a second chance, bro.
No.
Nah, bro.
No. He wouldn't wear a fucking suit. He
Yeah.
wouldn't do the one thing she fucking asked him to do, which was wear a simple, non-goddamn 70s suit to her one nice work thing, and he was too prideful and stupid to do it. Asshole.
Yeah. Nah, fuck that guy. So should we?
I say we hit up next.
I say we should do Samantha because once again, for some reason, her storyline is pretty short.
Yeah, it intersects in weird ways. Not really, but a little bit with the other girls.
Yeah.
So Samantha's enjoying her new apartment in the meatpacking district.
Yes.
There's
it's very fancy, by the way. Totally been in meatpacking. It's so nice. Like I understand why people are paying ridiculous amounts of money to live there. It's so nice.
But she has a creepy, aggressive neighbor who's hitting on her like crazy by the mailbox.
I totally forgot his name because I didn't even care about his name. No, I don't even care. I literally wrote down creepy ponytail guy. That's his name. That's his name. Guy. Yeah. He doesn't like get a name. That
the
creepy.
Midlife crisis type weirdo.
Fucking.
Yeah,
Native American feather earring, fucking ponytail, looking like an off-brand version of fucking Steven Seagal. Get out of here.
Oh my god, exactly.
Get out of here.
So, but poor Samantha gets a catalog in the mail for like older women for menopause.
Yes.
Premenopausal women, and it sends our poor girl spiraling.
Yes.
About getting older.
Yes.
And it coincides with they talk about menopause where you do stop having your period, which Lowkey cannot wait for. Absolutely.
I was literally about to ask you that. I was saying, like Lowkey, is that something you're like? I feel like, I mean, I'm not saying that like menopause is all good, but I feel like there has to be a few benefits to.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
When I did chemotherapy, my period stopped for basically the whole time, and I was like, it's fucking tight. I can't wait for this to be permanent. I'm so excited. I hope this isn't affecting my fertility though. And then it came back horrifically strong and lasted for a literal month.
Oh wow.
It was a can't stop, won't stop situation. Like I'm okay, things are fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, I kind of asked, and they're like, yeah, it's like it basically your body did a hard reset.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was really about to say, it's like I was like, your body like reset itself.
We held down the power button until we rebooted a bit,
and then it was like.
Horrible.
Man.
So I can't wait till I never have to do it again. Not quite counting the days, but kind of. But the girls have all synced up except for Samantha, who's a few days late. And they're like, "Oh no, are you pregnant?" And she's like, "No." And so she thinks she's hitting menopause, which she's still like pretty early, but I don't know. There's so many weird things in our environment now. It can honestly fuck up your.
How old is Samantha?
She's in her early 40s, I think.
Okay.
Compared to the girls.
Well, I mean,
who are in their early 30s.
She's not menopausal, but like I have heard of cases where people like
it can start
into
early.
It like early onset menopause.
Yeah.
So
it can
I could see her freaking out.
Yeah.
But I thought she was like only a couple of years older, but the way she said she was older, it sounded significant, like she was at least 10 years older than
I think she is.
Yeah. Because they're all like 31, 30.
Yeah, I know sometime I think I swear it's within this season or next. Carrie turns 35. And in the movie, the Sex and the City movie, right at the end of it, Samantha turns 50.
Okay, so she's that makes sense.
Yeah. If you stick by any other continuity timelines and think they're accurate. I have no idea.
Yeah, okay. So she's probably like 41 or 40, 41, something like that.
Yeah. So that's
menopause for sure.
Yeah. So but then she flips out even harder when they're all in the bathroom at brunch and they're handing out tampons and Samantha's like, I don't need one and I'll never need one again.
Well, she said
I'm drying up.
She said that, but maybe I misheard it, but I could have sworn she said at this point, this was like a later time, but she said she was 35 days late.
Yeah, because your cycle is like a
28
day.
Oh, okay. I thought she meant like 35 days like later than it should have happened. Not like 35 days, as in like the cycle. So she meant only 5 days late.
I think she only meant 5 days
That's
late.
Okay. I was like 35. You know what? Are you sure you're not pregnant?
Oh yeah, she says she hasn't had her period in 35 days. Yes, right. Your cycle is typically about 28 days.
Gotcha.
So she's about a week late.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought she was saying 35 days like post it should have been happening. I was like, either you're pregnant or you might be dead. Like you might have had just like like all your shit must have fell out or something.
And if you're wondering, yes, women give tampons to each other freely with no expectations, but there have been wonderful new laws and bills passed that require tampons or pads or just menstrual products to be free in college campuses in a lot of places, public restrooms and things like that, because it is a medical necessity.
I totally support it.
There are way too many dudes who seem to think it's a choice or just something that is not worth caring about. And in fact, that's like half the problem with medicine is it just we still don't know tons about like the period and whatnot. It's like, it's so weird that mine, I kind of get why mine stopped for chemotherapy, and it's nice the doctors are like, yeah, it was a reset, but I was like, so what's going on? They're like, it's just kind of resetting. I'm like, you don't fucking know, do you? You don't have an actual answer.
They probably know, but like can't remember it, because like that's a lot of school and a lot of knowledge to like shove into somebody's brain. Like there's so much medical.
Yeah, but I went to a gyno and he still was just kind of like, that's his specialty. So
you're 100% correct. That is literally his like expert. Like that's the one area you're supposed to be an expert on. Like that's what your degree on the wall says. So I totally 100%. Yeah.
But I just read, I think it's Ann Arbor where the University of Michigan is. Okay. It's requiring like the whole campus, and I think the city in general. Okay. Period products in public spaces are free, because
that's great.
Like, it's something that only women have to buy. So, women are paying out extra money while not getting paid the same amount as dudes. So we're already not getting paid enough, and now we gotta spend extra cash on pads and tampons and stuff for a medically necessary, thing. Because I feel like I read some example where someone was like, well, some man was like, well, why do you really need, pads or tampons? Like, oh, do you want me to literally bleed all over your furniture here in the office? Because I fucking will. Don't even tempt me.
You know what? Any guy that says that has never had period blood on them or in their things where they like, or in like a sheet of any kind. Yeah. Because if they had that experience, they would not be saying those ignorant things, because literally period blood never comes out of anything. If it touches, it's in there to stay, unless it's like maybe on skin. That's about it. But like any fabric.
Well, you guys just don't know how to clean it right.
No. Okay. Well, I still agree.
Why do you think more women get away with murder than men? Because we know how to get blood out of things. Hey,
listen. Correct. Also scary. I'm never sleeping alone with a girl again, ever. I'm always gonna have a camera on. But no, I was gonna say this though. Here's the only thing that's gonna suck, at least for the beginning stages of like when that becomes a law nationally to have products in there. It's gonna be like toilet paper. You're not gonna get 2-ply. Like in any public restroom,
it's not gonna be quality stuff, but when you're in a pinch, shit.
Right. Like it'll probably, sustain, like if you're on your way home or like only gonna wear it for like an hour, it's probably good for that. Yeah. But like anything beyond, you're gonna have to pay for it still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, yeah. And look,
high brand shit.
I have a brand preference, but like in a pinch, it starts when you don't expect it to necessarily, right. Or any number of those things, or even if you're just low income and you just need them to get by, that's totally acceptable. Like, because there's been nothing more frustrating. It's happened to me. It started when I wasn't quite expecting it, especially when I was younger and in college, and I wasn't like on a proper like cycle. And I was working. I worked at the like concession department or whatever, and so there was some event at one of the halls, and I was racing. I had no quarters, or I think the machine ate my quarter to try to get a tampon out, and I was racing around asking if people had quarters, and they're like, "What do you need?" I was like, in the women's room, and they're like, "I need a tampon," and like I swear, like 3 women were like, "I got you," and it's like the greatest sister solidarity of all time is like. You know, like I said, you know, it's the ultimate, like, we've got your back.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
You'll never deny another, like, well, like I have more than I need, like stashed in like 2 different purses. So if I'm out in public and like someone's like, "Hey," I'm like, "I got you," because I know someone will always get me back at some point in time. It's a pay it forward situation. It's
love
beautiful.
It. Yeah, no, you need that. That's a good energy. That's a good energy to pass by. Cause like, yeah, for sure. If you're the one that says no, somewhere down the line, you're gonna need it real bad. And you're gonna run into the same girl that was just like you, and you're gonna be like, no. You're like, it's gonna kill you. But
speaking of staining sheets,
yes,
Samantha is feeling so down about herself. I feel bad when she ever gets this low. It's so sad.
I know.
It's heartbreaking because she's so confident.
She literally
so
pulled like a Charlotte almost right now.
And she agrees to a date with creepy ponytail guy, but she gets fucking hammered during it.
Yes.
Understandably so.
Here's the thing, but not hammered enough to enjoy the sex. She's
laying there like
you gotta hammer enough to like barely like to barely be present during the sex. And not because she's too drunk, but because like it's just
she's like, just do it and get it over with. You know.
So she's literally only fucking this guy so he can leave her the fuck alone. Like that's really like that, and she needed like a little bit of an ego
boost. She
boost.
Some kind of boost.
Which he still didn't give it to her.
Yeah, but she was creepy. Wasn't getting it.
Sex was trash, and he said, "Give it to daddy." Ew. He also said that while he was like ejaculating, which is not cute.
I blocked out what he was saying. Honestly, I didn't even realize that's what he was saying. That's so nasty.
Oh man.
But whilst that is happening, her period starts again.
Yes.
And he's got like snow white sheets. He says they're like $2,000 a set or something like that. And she starts laughing and is like, "I'm so sorry, I have to go." Oh, it's so embarrassing. What a coup.
Also, here's my thing. Like, I'm not saying the guy deserved it just because he's a creep, but I will say this. If you're going to be a douchebag that buys $2,000 sheets, don't have sex on them.
Right?
They're not made for that. Pull all them sheets off, have sex on straight up the mattress, and then you can put the sheets back on after everything has been sanitized and clean. There's no, if I'm paying $2,000 for sheets, you would barely even see me sleeping on them, let alone let somebody else sleep. Like, that would be like for the guest room only, and it's like guest room for family, not like friends and shit like that. Like, that's just like somebody has to be really high on my like I love you pedestal to sleep in $2,000 sheets.
And also, I feel like you don't know how to spend your money, and I am going to rob you.
Yep.
I'm going to deprive you of your money.
No, matter of fact, I'm gonna start looking through your shit because I know you got some money hidden somewhere because you're that kind of person. If you're buying $2,000 sheets, you probably don't trust banks. Yeah, idiot.
So who next? You want to do Charlotte or Carrie? Charlotte?
Yeah, we should do Charlotte because Carrie's has a little bit more passion that I'm going to bring back to this podcast. So let's hit with
Charlotte and Wonder. Well, I don't know if he's Wonderful. To be seen. But Charlotte and Trey, I just like Kyle MacLachlan. I just think
he's great. Love that actor.
Great.
Always.
That's why I'm so
love him in everything.
I just love him in everything.
Yeah.
So he and Charlotte are going strong, but she's not hooking up with him.
Yes.
She's like she's doing, as they say, everything but.
Yes. Everything but girl. That's what she called it. I love
Which
it.
Which is ironic, as she did not want to do it in the butt previously.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I love that phrase because like everything but girl, but it's like It's like they're saying everything you do is butts related, but it's like I understand where that comes from. I haven't heard that phrase in a long time. This was like a very throwback episode.
Yeah.
Shouts out to the Twin Tower sightings. Never forget.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
It's very throwback episode, but even with the everything but girl, I was like, oh my God, I literally haven't heard that since high school. Like that was the last time I heard that phrase.
Well, that Carrie kind of teases her that, like, you know, because Charlotte says, like, oh, we only got to second base, and she's like, this is so high school of you, but
yeah, you know. She's like, yeah, did you do your homework?
Yeah. But it's great too, and it's so funny because Charlotte's so in puppy love. It's so sweet. It's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
But I love that she's like, did you know that if you haven't had sex for a year, you could be re-virginized? And Carrie's like, oh my God, this sounds awful. Which no one wants that shit.
Also, is that true? That's not true, right? There's no way it's true. Like, there's no way if you don't have sex all the time.
You can't get overstretched out, and you can't reclose or whatever, or tighten rather.
Right.
If you don't have enough. It's all bullshit myths about the vagina.
Okay.
And it,
Kegels is not. They did talk about that in this episode.
Kegels is real.
I believe in that. I felt them, and some of them are a little too strong. Y'all need to chill. Stop working out so much. Stop doing steroids in the Kegel gym because y'all too strong.
But
that's real.
But like, there you have, like, it's just all a dumb myth. You have to stimulate your partner to prepare the tunnel to open. Right. And then you can go and do your thing. You can't just go ramming in there, and you won't go slip sliding in there because she's so loose. It's not a thing.
Slip sliding in there.
I feel like a dirty Ted Lasso.
Slip slide in there, Jesus. I'm saying
actually, you should go, because if you've done everything right, you will go slip sliding in there.
That's true.
Because
foreplay is important, fellas. Sorry, those who think that it's not. I mean, unless you ain't really trying to like keep her around, it's very important.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, this is why I don't send this podcast. My mom's like, "Why won't you send me the podcast?" I think this is why.
She's like, shit, because I ain't trying to have this conversation over Thanksgiving, motherfucker.
No, my mom's actually pretty fucking chill. She wouldn't care.
Okay.
She wouldn't care at all.
That's fine.
She'd be proud of anything. What do you call it? So let's see. They're on the boat with Carrie, which we'll get back to the boat. And Trey is talking Carrie's ear off about how he met Charlotte, and she's like, "Oh my God, I want to jump off this fucking boat," or actually, I want to throw Trey off this boat. Yeah. But this is one of the first. Trey is kind of dorky. Yeah. Which is, I think, why I like Trey so goddamn much, because it's me. I am a dork. So he's kind of corny, but he's very, in his own way, kind of sweet, because he gives Charlotte like a Cartier watch, and it's engraved.
Question.
Yeah.
I feel like that's too heavy of a gift for somebody you've only been seeing for a few weeks.
Yeah.
He said a few weeks, so it's like basically like three,
yeah,
less than a month. Yeah. And you're already buying her thousands of dollars of jewelry.
But she keeps saying, I think he's the one, and she's saying the gift feels like the one, and he does say, "I love you" in this episode. And she says, "I love you too."
I guess it. I don't know. That just, to me, those feel like red flags. Like, I don't know. I guess if you're both feeling the things, then it's okay. But it just seems like I'm just okay. This is what I'm worried about.
Luckily, they seem to be, other than the sex part, maybe they're kind of on the same page.
Also, too, hold on, Charlotte, stop the tape. A hand job after an "I love you." The first "I love you," he can't even. I mean,
that's how much Trey loves her back, though. That he sticks around.
I don't know if
that's handy.
I don't know. I feel like he's just taking what he can get.
Well, that I think brings us to Miranda's conversation when they're in the bathroom about the meter light being on, and this is what I was trying to convey a while ago, I think on a different episode, and and something that I've heard is that like, at the meter light for wanting to settle down and have kids and do all those things is only on at certain times for dudes. That's why, like, I think I brought this up before. You'll hear stories of like a guy will have been with his girlfriend for like 8 years, 10 years or something like that, and then they'll break up without having gotten married or anything like that, and within like a year he's married with kids, and it's like basically like a switch flips, and it's so frustrating for the woman who had been with him for 8-10 years the whole time, thinking at some point they will get to that point, but for whatever reason the meter light just did not switch with her, but it did with someone else, and that's and it, Miranda says it's very random, and I know a lot of cases I think it is it's
got to be like your life has to you have to be in the right place to even be open to be in a relationship the right way, you know what I mean? Because if you're not in the right place, it's gonna end, like it's gonna be, or it's gonna end badly, and a lot of times too. So like, I think that analogy was
and what's frustrating for women is our light is almost, as Miranda said, generally switched on or from a much earlier point in time, and then we are often doing a lot of the work to theoretically prime you for your light to turn on, or for you to want it, for guys to want to do the settling down thing like that, but you really you are not driving that cab, so you can't flip that light basically. That's something that I think people are learning more now, but it's hard.
That's a brilliant analogy. I was like, that really works in so many levels, and like but I think their taxis, both their lights are on, as far as Charlotte and Keith. Was his name Keith?
Trey.
I don't know why I keep calling Keith. I don't know where I got Keith from.
It kind of fits. He looks like he could be a
Keith for sure. I would like him a little better if he was a Keith. I don't like Trey. I don't like the name Trey for him. Doesn't fit.
I just like Trey McDougal. Just has a ring to it for me. It cracks me up.
I mean, this is right up her alley though. Doctor,
family. She says family money.
Yeah, family money. Literally, I mean, he literally came up the same way she came up.
Yep. Yeah.
Pretty much. And I guess that's why they're like kind of falling for each other, because like they have so much in common. And I guess my big thing is because we talked about this last episode. I'm like so happy that Charlotte's finally getting some. I guess I'm just a pessimist, because I'm like, is he just doing all this to get some? Because like I feel like it's like these like all, because like he's doing all these like extreme things, like buying her expensive bracelets and then dropping the L bomb on her, like, and she hasn't had sex yet. And I just worry that like once he gets a little penetration, he might be like, all right, so here's the thing, my light's going off. I gotta drive this taxi a little further. See you later.
Without spoiling anything, sex will be an issue, but I think not in the way you're thinking of.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, right now he seems satisfied with hand jobs, but I'm saying like I just think I guess because of other things you've seen on television and just like being a guy, like usually, especially younger guys, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times they'll make these declarations, these huge declarations, because they haven't gotten any yet, and then they get some and they're like they change their mind.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what he's doing right now. And I don't like that for Charlotte, because she needs a break. She needs a little break.
No, he's in it for the long haul, but it's gonna be
an issue.
Sex is gonna be an issue.
Okay.
Like I said, and I think a different way than you'll be expecting.
Well, as long as he don't do my girl Charlotte dirty, I'm cool. That's all I'm saying. Don't say nothing. Don't make no faces. I'm not looking at your face right now. I'm not looking at it. I ain't gonna look at it.
Neutral again.
Yeah.
So let's get on to Carrie, who can't pick up her dry cleaning to save her life.
Okay.
Get your shit together.
First off, the dry cleaning thing. She's like mad at the dry cleaner, but she like spent all her time at brunch with the girls and literally waited till the last minute to try to like get across town, knowing that at any moment trains could be delayed. Carrie, like, what do you like at any moment in New York? Like, you think, because here's the thing, on a regular basis, trains come like every 10 to 15 minutes. It's a beautiful thing. You get around New York.
First of all, it's so cute you think she's taking the train anywhere.
Cab is worse. She
Yeah,
probably would have
cabs
got
are
there on
worse.
time
Yeah,
if she took the fucking train. You're right. She probably didn't take the train, and she would have got there a lot faster if she did.
Yeah.
Because I bet you the train was only like 3 stops away. Then this bitch got in the cab, and now it's ridiculous. Like now you fucked yourself. So she's like mad at the laundromat. She's like, oh, come on, open up. He's like, no, bro.
Yeah, he's like, I have hours of operation. The sign
says it closes at 6:30, baby.
Yeah.
You here at 6:45. I can't do nothing for you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he could have, handed her the dress, but like you can't do that because if you do the
do it once, oh my god, then she's gonna forever be like, well, I did it. Come on, you did
a girl
before.
Like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Carrie would totally abuse that. Okay. Also, too, it just fucks with the teal of the cash register. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, like,
it's too much. Unless you save it for the next day, you have to like do the ticket, and you can't even give her the receipt because technically you have to put in it's too much.
It's a whole
thing. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. Unless he was a scumbag, being like, here, like double the charge. I would have. I was like, oh, is it important? Is it important? You like you
How important is the dress, Carrie?
Yeah, that'll be $500. What's up?
But and so she goes to this boat thing, and we need to point out that beforehand she is blissfully happy with Aiden. They're like ensconced in the bed with Chinese food and lounging around. They're so happy.
She's trying to get him to come to the party because she wants to be with him all the time.
Yeah. And this is not his scene.
Nope.
He's a humble furniture maker, and he's not really
he doesn't want to be around celebrities and reporters and
celebrity adjacent
dumb rich people.
Yeah. So he bails, and who does she literally bump into on the boat? But one, a Mr. Big. Dun, dun, dun.
I knew. Here's the thing. Even though I knew this was happening, it was like, how you watch a movie over and over again, and you know how it ends, or you know what like the big climax or the big like part, and you like but you love the character so much. Every time you watch it, you wish it didn't happen or it was going to happen a different way. That's how I feel about this situation. Even though I don't like either one of the characters, don't like them at all. But like, just for the world of Sex in the City, I don't want them to get back together because they're going like their energy ruins the world.
Yeah,
it ruins the world of Sex in the City. It literally just like implodes the entire world of Sex in the City. Like, and we have this happy existence right now, and it's gonna get fucked up by these two.
Because she's legit very happy with Aiden.
Yes,
or seems to be.
But that's the crazy thing. She literally says he's perfect. She says to Big's face, because he asked like, "Hey, have you been seeing anybody?" She's like, "Yes," and he's perfect.
And to her credit, in both of these, so first she bumps into him like at the snack table on the boat. Right. And she asks, where's Natasha? And he's like, well, she's not here. And she
missed the boat.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
She missed the boat.
I think it means they got divorced. I think it's like this little Lowkey way of saying like, or either that or like they're about to be. Like
they're about to be, yeah. But she walks away from that conversation. Smart. Yes. Love it. And then he finds her again on the boat, and I wrote, after she walked away, mind your business, sir. And he's like, well, can we have a conversation? She's like, well, can we? And that's when they talk about Aiden and stuff. Also, real side note, real fast. Yes, he compliments her outfit. And I have to say, this is one of my favorite looks on her of all time in the show. Yeah, and it great outfit. It gets no love, I think, because it's not particularly flashy or designer or anything like that. But she just looks really gorgeous. It's this dark blue dress. Yeah. It's a classic kind of V-neck cut. The necklace is good. The hair's, the whole look is so good. I'm like, that's kind of what I shoot for when I am like gonna go to like something cocktaily nice. I kind of have that in my head where I'm like, you just need a simple dress, some good accessories, and get your like hair in order, and you're gold. And I'm like, no one ever talks about this look, and it's my favorite look, I think, in the whole show.
It's a great look. Like, she clearly was able to manage without her, the dress that she originally paid for. Because, I like the outfit, too. Like, when he said it, too, I was like, I was like, I didn't like it because they were flirting, but I also agree with them. I was just like, all right.
Yeah, fine, you're right about one thing. And she leaves this conversation, though, too. And she...
Go ahead.
Well, she kind of does. I mean,
they leave, but here's the thing. I wasn't a fan of because I'm feeling like I'm
Mhm.
looking at it from like Aiden's perspective. Like they
Yeah.
were literally flirting. Like there was electricity
Mhm.
happening between them on during that whole
Yeah.
conversation, and she was like falling into it. And it's like, how would you feel if you saw Aiden doing that with his ex? Like she would
Yeah.
lose. She'd probably go stab him. You know what I mean?
I think she caught, yeah, I think she caught herself though
She did. Yeah, she
before it
did.
went too far. But she could, she mentions like snuggling in bed with Aiden the next day, and I'm like, there's some guilt there, those are
Yeah.
guilty
Oh
snuggles.
yeah. You
The
know they are.
tainted snuggles.
Oh, super tainted, bro. Super tainted.
So the later they're
Also, we
over.
know she's willing to cheat because she did cheat on Big with a 20-something. Remember, she kissed that dude. She was like,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah,
if there, if
everything before
yeah,
I love you
yeah,
is.
everything before I love you is up. No, fuck you."
Yeah,
So
this is
that's
where.
why I think that's another reason why I didn't like that whole dynamic they were having on the boats. I was like, "Oh, are they
Yeah,
about to go like fuck in a closet or like in some bedroom of this boat? Like, please,
you're
not
seeing
today."
seeing something in the future.
I
Let me tell
know.
you.
Oh, I know.
So Aiden comes over to Carrie's, and she checks her messages and hears Big's voice and like slams the voicemail machine off.
Yes.
And Aiden doesn't even notice or pretends not to. I don't know, but he's like, "Hey, you're out of coffee filters. I'll go down to like the market and get some." And right before he does, he's like, "You make me really happy." And I'm like, "Oh, Aiden, you big dumb animal. I love you."
I
She
know. That's
doesn't
why I
say
feel
that.
bad for
That's
this guy.
me.
He's like this warm, loyal, like
He's
Labrador
like a golden retriever
or
of a
golden retriever.
human.
Yeah, like smart, loyal, love you,
Yeah.
makes you happy. And she's trying to go for the fucking the rabbit dog. She's like, yep,
Yeah.
something about that one with one leg is getting to me. Love it.
Yeah. It's and then there's a knock on the door, and she's like, "Oh, that was fast, Aiden." And it's Big. He shows
Yes.
up like panting and freaking out on her door. It's so weird.
I was like, in my head, I was like, I know this ain't a dark show. I was like, but is he about to kill
He's
her?
like, "Oh, I love you, Carrie."
Why are you out of breath? Like, first of all,
What'd you
why
do?
you also too, if you could run up the stairs, then you could have caught her back at the goddamn opera theater, motherfucker. So now you
Yeah.
choose to be athletic, but it clearly wasn't important for you then, but now it is.
Yeah.
All right. See, and that should already be a sign.
Mhm.
But I guess Carrie didn't see him not run after her, but still.
And she's like, "Wait," and she says like, "What do you want?" And then she goes, "Wait, no, go home to your wife."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "I'm so fucked up. Oh, fuck that shit."
Oh yeah, that's a dude's way of saying I'm so sorry. Like I'm so sorry I'm this way. It's not my fault. That's it. You're not taking responsibility for your own bullshit. Hey, guess what? Maybe it's not your fault. Maybe you had some bad shit happen to you that really fucked with your head mentally. But you know what is your fault? You're not going to therapy to figure it out.
Yep. It made me think of the infamous line from the first 50 Shades of Grey movie, and it's in the book too, where he dramatically like walks over to a window and turns around and is like, "I'm 50 shades of fucked up." And now really truly, I'm so glad we have like a Jamie Dornan kind of Renaissance redemption arc, because he's not as bad as those.
No,
movies.
He's actually a pretty decent actor.
One is
he's
good
actually really good. Yeah,
it's the Twilight thing.
It's also so is Dakota Johnson. She's a great actress. It's
she's
just
much better than this. Yeah.
Well, I would say great, but she's a good actress.
She's a good actress.
She's a good actress, and like no one could be like that material. There was nothing there for them to act in. Like
same thing with the Twilight stuff. People are still going, "Wow, Kristen Stewart can act." Yeah, she can. Yeah. Robert Pattinson too.
Yeah.
Maybe not the rest of the cast. There's some questionable people in there, but
Keelan Lutz. No, sorry, bro. Not for me.
Sweet baby Angle. No.
Yeah. Be a model. You have to look for to be a model, not to be an actor. Sorry, sir. We tried. But Taylor Lautner too. Sorry, brother.
Yeah.
You got the looks to be a model, not an actor.
No. But it's and people need to like let those movies go. It's been 10 years in the case of Twilight.
Right.
They're in their 30s. Fucking let it go. Like people are still like, "Ooh, he's a vampire and gonna be Batman." Yeah, he's also a grown adult now, so fucking calm
Also,
down.
the trailer for the Batman
looks good.
He looks fucking awesome in that movie. I'm totally ready to see him.
And she's like on track to get an Oscar nomination for playing Princess Diana. People are saying
crazy.
The movie, I think itself is uneven, but they're saying her performance is like fucking fantastic. I haven't seen it yet.
You know what? The movie that made me, I saw her in the movie that made me be like, oh shit, Twilight was some bullshit. Like, or realize how you were like the realization, like the material sucked. You ever seen that movie Underwater?
No, but I heard it was pretty good. Yeah.
She rocked that shit. She killed that movie. And it was like, that was a good movie too, by the way. Very underrated. Didn't get the publicity it needed. I think because of TJ Miller being in it. But hey, you know, shit happened. Yeah. Because it didn't get a lot of push in the theaters and shit like that. But it's a really good movie. She's really great in it. She's like basically the Sandra Bullock role of Gravity in this movie.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so she really kills it.
But so big is 50 Shades of Fucked Up. and
so is she.
Like, so is she, because he's like, oh, you didn't listen to my message, and she's like, well, I didn't know what I was gonna say, and she closes the door in his face, but then she listens to the message, and he's like, I can't stop thinking about you, da 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 da, and then hangs up, and she's like, I don't know what's worse is that. Well, she says it's what she needed to hear a year too late,
right?
And you know, and realizes the timing is all off, and she's like, you know, it's almost worse that she wanted to know, or not that she wanted to know, but that she cared what he had to say in that scenario,
right?
And then she's left pondering because Aiden is like lost on the way to the store. Aiden never makes it back. I mean, he does in the show. He's not dead,
of course, yeah.
But he like, I don't know.
That would be a dark twist. Oh man, if that happened, I'd be like, oh shit.
I've seen this episode because I remember thinking her outfit was so great on the boat, but then I couldn't remember like how this episode ended. And so when he hadn't been back for a while, I thought, oh well, he's coming back with some like grand cute gesture because that's who he is. He's kind of, Aiden's a romantic like that, and we'll do that, but no, he's just, again, we don't know what happened to him on his way to the boat.
Lost, on
his way to the boat.
He's a little golden retriever, you know, little from time
he's having some adorable adventure in the city right now. Like
probably on fucking Ellis Island somehow. Like, oh, I don't know what happened. Took a left turn.
How'd I get to the top of the Statue of Liberty? What was I doing? Oh, all right, coffee filters. Oh shit! What time is it?
Oh shit! My girlfriend.
You gotta go. Okay, bye. I want to see Aiden's little adventure now.
I know,
God, I bet it's so cute.
And that's the thing too. If he does come back in the next episode with like a grand gesture, that still like makes me more upset because she was just the fact that she was even entertaining Big's presence when he showed up. Like as soon as she opened the door and saw it was him, she was like, nope, my wife. I'm happy now.
Yeah.
We're not friends. We know each other, but best of luck. See you later.
She keeps saying she's happy, but we know she's not because she craves that toxic bullshit that she mentioned a couple episodes where like he wasn't acting crazy enough for her, and she was like, I'm gonna sabotage this because I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, and this is again, like I said, I already know how this ends up, and they fucking deserve each other. They absolutely do because, here's that to me is truly a happy ending. Like when you see two characters of people who like shouldn't be with anybody else but each other because they're both toxic pieces of shit. That's a happy ending. Although I do disagree with that in the real life because you shouldn't have two toxic people together. No. Like that's how domestic violence happens.
Somebody usually bad things happen. It's no good.
That, or if it at the very least really really messy years long divorces.
It's how all those old school like jokes about like I hate my wife or like I hate my husband, like that's the toxic shit. Like people staying in relationships for too damn long, and when they finally cut it off, it's just ridiculous. All they try to do is just like repay each other for the pain. This is probably betraying my age more than I wanted to, but did you ever read like the comics and newspapers when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Did you ever see one called like the Lockhorns or whatever?
Nuh-uh.
It was like a little one panel thing, and it was a married couple, and they hated each other. and I think at some point I asked my mom, I was like, well, I don't get this because they clearly don't like each other. So why are they like still together? Maybe it was a movie. I know I like asked at some point, like, and I don't remember how she tried to explain it. It'd be like, some people just do stuff like that. You know, she didn't really have a good answer. And then my parents got divorced, so whatever.
Yeah, I guess she answered your question ultimately.
In the long run.
In the long run, she kind of answered it by.
But yeah, and I remember there's just other pieces of media or things I've seen like that where it's like, why are they together then? If they so clearly hate each other, why do it? Like, why go through the misery of it? And like, I know there's a million reasons, you know, financial or societal or whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, make sure you. And like it's the same thing. Like I see, like I had to read so many advice column things, or whatever for work, where people will be like, my husband and my wife sucks. They do X, Y, and Z, and on. But I still love them. And then they were like, you may love them, but do you even fucking like them?
Right.
And this was the same. This is the same thing we said with Miranda actually.
Yeah.
Several episodes ago, it was like, do you even when she was kind of cold shouldering Steve a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe she should have kept doing it much sooner.
A little bit.
But at that time, it was like, do you even? I think Carrie says in the show, and we asked it too. It's like, do you even like him?
Right.
Like as a person, like maybe you do feel love for them in some way.
Yeah.
But do you like them as a person?
Right.
Like.
Yeah, if the love you have for them is making you miserable, then like maybe you shouldn't, like you should like try to lessen that love or get away from that love. Like that's, and I think that's what it is. Where you see couples like that, they just get used to like that misery. Like they get used to it, so they don't think it's that bad because they like kind of grow to love the misery a little bit. Yeah. And even when like you part ways, part of you still craves it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe that's the point where you would get back with your ex. Like that's a little extreme, but that's some other deeper shit. But like, you know, I can see why people still like, you know, think about the ex that like kind of drove them crazy, but not to the point where you get back with them. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, and it's funny how too. This just dawned on me while we were talking. Is so Carrie did all that chasing in the previous go around of the relationship, and now Big's kind of doing it. Yeah, and this is their like weird dynamic back and forth. I think, and it's just gross.
And you know what sucks is because what episode? This is episode 8 of season 3. We had 7 episodes of happiness, and now we're have to have like 5 episodes of the world, like this happy season 3, like finally getting a good chug along. Everybody was kind of, you know, finding their way, and then this shit happens. Like, just dropping the atomic bomb on the world that is Sex and the City, the happy world. All these women were happy, all of them. Well, except for Miranda, but she's happy now. But as soon as she gets their happiness, they're all 4 about to be happy, and this motherfucker shows up. God damn it, Big. You have to keep being a dick. Worst timing in the world. Just also too, like a year later, you're trying to come back,
right?
Come on, bro. Yeah. After a year, how do you even think in your mind that you got a chance? Like a year is such a long time, especially in the world of women, especially single women in a place like Manhattan, New York. Like how many dudes that she's dated? And I'm not saying she had sex with all of them, just saying like just dating.
Right, just dating.
And like so many. Like, how would you even think? Like how do you even have the balls of it? Like also too, knowing she's in a relationship. That's balls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
He's got some big ones.
Yeah. All right, that's the end of the podcast.
The whole thing or just this episode? It's just this episode.
No, the whole thing. That joke alone. We're done. This is the last episode. See you fucks later. No,
we're still going strong. So speaking of going strong, you can find us most easily on Instagram at Show Me What Podcast or Facebook or Twitter. Yes. And YouTube, which again, you guys are blowing up our YouTube and we appreciate it very, very deeply. It is so cool to see. I watch the numbers like it's a stock ticker. I can't get enough of it. So please keep doing it.
Yes, validate us. We are entertainers with a hole to fill. We can't feel it. We'll never satisfy the hunger.
That's why we went to comedy. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Elizabeth Movies. And Chris, where can they find you?
You can find me on all the shits, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Mack Diddy Combs, MackDiddyCombs. Woo, my stone brain came in.
Yeah, I was like, what you got?
I was like, what's the rest?
And as always, we have the candles from Arlo, Australia.
Yes.
We have their info in the description box.
Yes.
On everything, and you can use promo code Show Me Miss to get some money off. And you should buy some. Holiday season is coming up. It's a small independent seller. Your shit won't get stuck on a shipping container. Buy local.
Yes. Also, too, she is going to be having a Cyber Monday sale. So, you know what I'm saying? Come on in there and get that discount. I don't know if our promo code will work for that discount. It might cancel it out. So you might want to take her discount in this case. But yeah, she is doing a Cyber Monday sale and possibly a Black Friday sale. I don't know. You have to check the website, Etsy/Arlo.
Well, we're premiering on Cyber Monday. So if you're hearing this on Cyber Monday,
go there.
And it's not, a year from now or days from the debut. Why did I pronounce debut that way? Debut. What the fuck? I'm speaking of stoned, I'm hungry as fuck, but I'm not stoned. I just haven't had dinner yet.
It affects the mind the same way, if you ask me.
It's coming through the
coming through the internet. I haven't puffing the entire episode, so it might be residual.
But yes, check her out, and we will be back with another episode next week of more Sex in the City. Until then, have fun.
Happy Thanksgiving if you're seeing this.
No, it will be past Thanksgiving.
So happy post Thanksgiving.
Happy food coma recovery.
Yeah, happy food coma recovery week, and
happy kickoff to the Christmas that's finally.
Oh no, you know what? Fuck that. Happy leftover day, because we know y'all still got them from the Thanksgiving. Because ain't no way you leave at anybody's house without at least one plate. So happy leftovers. All right, peace out, y'all.